Mentioned this a couple of days on the show, didn't I? This particular charitable record, Band Aid. Remember, it been going 40 years ago, apparently made a lot of money for saving the starving in Africa and, of course, raising the profile of the likes of Bob Geldof. And what really kicked off behind the scenes was this particular Bon Mot, you see, because apparently the sort of second version, which was produced by Stock Aitken Waterman in 1989, well, now, according to Sir Bob, it means nothing. It was just, well, they helped raise a little bit of money, but it was never truly official, even though, of course, it featured many of the original stars and everybody giving their time for free, including the producers. Now, as you can imagine, that really angered the record buying public, who thought they were doing a lot of good. A little bit of money. When you look at the colossal amount of money that it made, Bob, once again, is being rather disingenuous. Now, I've met Sir Bob Geldof, right? I've got to be blunt. He always looks like a man that's auditioning for Guy Fawkes on a permanent basis. And Bob, you see, way back in the 90s, had a very successful TV company called 10 Alps. He was part of that particular group. And I've often wondered, with people who have very successful companies, how much did they give from their yearly profits over to these particular projects that they become so, well, enamored by, Feed the World, all of that sort of stuff. What did they give? It's all very well Bob shaking like some backed spitting image puppet telling you that you should be giving your money, we need your money now, all of that sort of stuff. But what did they actually give? It's never really that clear, is it? Well, as I say, things are really kicking off because now they've amalgamated the three versions that they made since, excluding, of course, the 1989 one, and now that's been produced by Trevor Horn. And this has turned into a spat because the superstar singer Ed Sheeran said he didn't want his vocals added to this. And that's all turned around. So in the name of charity, what should have been a very nice thing coming up at the seasonal time of year for a good cause, some people might suspect, well, it's turning rather nasty. Now, the producer, Mike Stock, came online and basically said that he gave up his Sunday to produce the record entirely for free on his birthday, but did it from the goodness of his heart, alongside the many engineers and co-producers, etc. But Bob's not backing down, and even the co-writer Midjour seems to be keeping a well-placed distance from this. The culmination of this is what I would say is, if you think that you are helping anybody by buying this record, the only thing that you're really helping is an elderly punk rocker who had a few hits way back in the late 70s and a couple in the early 80s. Remind people that he actually did something on the back of others who were far more talented. One might suggest that Sir Bob Geldof will go down in history, but this particular disingenuous sort of way of dealing with people that were kind enough to give their time, energy and talent to make sure that his project truly got off the ground, well, it leaves a lot to the imagination. And as I said, what I find fascinating really at the beginning of this particular video is, he's had a very successful career in other areas. And one might suggest, wouldn't it be wonderful, given the fact that I believe they sold that particular company for quite a bit of money, how much did Sir Bob give from that company to the cause that he's apparently so passionate about? So passionate about that the little bit of money that all those record buying people gave away in 1989, in 1990 to make this record #1 and help those starving people in Africa, well, apparently it meant nothing. Does it still to you? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.